Mercedes has been the dominant force in F1 since 2014, and Red Bull was the team that dominated F1 prior to that. F1 CEO Louis Camilleri has now reflected on the one thing Ferrari is lacking that its rivals possess or possessed during their dominant runs while speaking to the New York Times. I'm your host, Dillon Shelley, and first up on Formula World, what Ferrari lacks that makes Mercedes dominant. Camilleri began by reaffirming his faith in team principal Mattia Binotto and those around him. I have to say I have every confidence in Mattia Binotto and his team. He then lamented on the pressure that Ferrari tends to experience and the adverse reaction to this pressure. These things take time. Regretfully, in the past, there have been too much pressure and a history of people being let go. There was somewhat of a revolving door atmosphere, and I'm putting a stop to that. He then contrasted that with the approach at Mercedes and Red Bull. If you look at Red Bull's period of winning championships, Mercedes today, other than talent, one of the key things they had was stability, and that's something frankly our team has been lacking. Camilleri then offered up his solution to all of this. So I want to ensure that stability remains in place, despite the unbelievable pressure there is on the team, particularly from the Italian media, who are quite brutal at times, calling for heads to roll, but that's not the solution. He signed off by confirming that they are open to adding new talent to their team. This doesn't mean, however, that we won't consider injecting additional skills and resources into the existing team. Fast feed. Haas team principal Günther Steiner does not think it's a good idea to keep this up from now on, referring to multiple triple headers in a season. McLaren team principal Andreas Seidel added to that by highlighting the biggest problem is being absent from your family and children. That applies to every member of the team. Mercedes Chief Technical Officer James Allison feels that Formula One has gone through a great deal of development over the last 20 years, from a totally empirical process to a process that is much more science-based and much more focused. Former F1 driver Mark Webber thinks that it's a great move from Aston Martin, for them a real masterstroke, to sign Sebastian Vettel for next year. He also feels that a new environment will be brilliant for Vettel, as he loves the English environment. He flourished in Milton Keynes at Red Bull Racing. Red Bull's Esteban Ocon stated that they will keep doing their best for strong performances and to put on a show for the fans. His teammate Daniel Ricciardo explained that F1 feels like school was for him. Get there, do what you've got to do, and get out when the bell rings. Former team owner Eddie Jordan believes that the Honda engine will be equal really soon of the Mercedes. He further thinks that if Red Bull's Max Verstappen had a teammate like Lewis Hamilton, he'd still be able to beat him. Jordan also feels that it's time for Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff to quit. He has already won everything. He further explained that if he were Wolff's advisor, he would say, "Get out of there please, Toto. Take the money that's on the table, you won't get it that good." Wolff, meanwhile, has revealed that he does not see himself in a non-executive role like Niki had at the end. Former F1 driver Robert Kubica has explained that F1 cars are just not built to race every lap wheel to wheel, and that is not new. This is what he was talking about in his first year, 15 years ago. And Günther Steiner has revealed that they lost a lot of ground in 2019, costing them millions. The only thing they learned last year was that they were wrong. Will the Honda power unit catch up to the Mercedes power unit? Head over to my community page to vote in the poll and let me know what you think in the comments. And if you like this video, feel free to subscribe and check out my others for all the latest in the world of Formula One.